Welcome to Invest, talk about investing, finance, and professional development. For today's items only, the investment talk today will be Ethereum to ETH. First, want to say happy Sunday, everybody. Have a great weekend so far. Respect to recording time of 7:51 a.m. on the Eastern Time. Ethereum current trading $2,970, up about 3.56% so far. Respect to overall crypto market, besides Solana and polkadot, respectively, is relatively green and normalizing today. It seems like we are just rebounding from the subsequent sell-off and volatility that we've been incurring so far from the Chinese crackdown news that we heard from late Thursday or early Friday morning at 6:45 p.m. as the news broke out, and subsequently across the whole crypto market percolate from there, right? But it seems like some of the news are leaning more towards the optimistic side of the spectrum, hoping that we are recovering slowly, which is one of the reasons on driving this buying pressure across the board. And also on top of the fact on the other news, we did hear some interesting news across the spectrum, not directly, pointing at Ethereum specifically, but with respect to Cardano, despite it's kind of being flat at the moment, Cardano did announce a partnership with Dish Network. Excuse me. I had a lot of Korean barbecue last night, and I woke up with like a really, really stiff neck. Maybe I slept too well. And I looked at my pillow, just like this is literally next to me. My bed is next to my camera. And I see that my pillow is like really slanted. So I guess I was sleep. Ugh, I was sleeping like this the whole night. That it caused my neck to be, I don't know, completely stretched out to the point that when I wake up, I feel like I had like a stretching exercise that I did in my sleep for like, I don't know, 8 hours straight. Now I cannot really turn left anymore because of this exercise that I did last night. Despite it wasn't an exercise, obviously, but you get what I'm trying to say. Oh my god, I'm losing it this morning. So, anyways, with respect to the next news on cryptocurrency exchange, Hubble to clear up existing mainland clients by end of 2021. So that's something that's interesting. It seems like this is more of a mandatory enforcement from the Chinese government, to have this mandate to, basically clear up all the clients, crypto clients specifically, by the end of 2021. So it seems like, despite this, the relatively, good recovery that we're seeing across the spectrum, China is still being, I would say, on a political perspective, a little bit more of, how would you say, stubborn, is that the right word? In terms of how they want things to be, how they want things to be regulated. Knowing the fact that they are a communist country, so with cryptocurrency, which the mantra of is very democratic, if you think about it that way, it is to decentralize, right? Where we have equalized shares, which is why the term is called DeFi, right? So something to be thinking about, knowing the fact that China does have a relatively large influence on crypto asset class as a whole. And then the other one, this is an interesting news. Talk about on Forbes. JP Morgan warns big investors are suddenly dumping Bitcoin for Ethereum for the first time. So it seems like there is some sort of a switch of hands going on in the ecosystem, that investors, especially institutional investors, are slowly leaving Bitcoin for Ethereum. So basically transferring their Bitcoin holding into holding more Ethereum because they see more of a long-term value proposition for Ethereum specifically. So that's interesting. I see, well, just to understand, JP Morgan currently does not offer any crypto assets to be sold or exchanged on their, institutional platform, but they do sell trust, right? The grayscale trust, for specifically for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Ethereum Classic as well, which is something we're aware of, right? And this is their activity that they've been observing from their institutional clients, which is quite interesting. Great for us, knowing the fact that majority of us are crypto investor in Ethereum specifically. And then the next one is more just regurgitation news talking about what happened, within the last week so far, and I can just like keep tabs verbally with you, right? First one is the Christine Lagarde news that got broken out on last weekend exactly, right? When she basically said something about suspicious warning on 10 selective crypto assets, right? And subsequent to that, drive some fear mongering, and then we had that disparate pressure from Monday all the way to Wednesday or Tuesday, depending on what time zone you're in, with respect to the FOMC meeting. Learning more about the quantitative tapering plan, the Fed's on their initialization on the crypto bills, some of the regulatory constraints that we potentially be getting. And subsequent to that, we kind of cool down, but also with the volatility from the U.S. currency, it spiked a little bit afterwards, right? From, obviously the inconclusive status from the speech. And subsequent to that, on Thursday and Friday, late Thursday specifically, we heard the news from the China crackdown, right? And from there, we obviously drive the sell-off across the board, and then some weekend affectation at the same time, and then subsequently on Saturday and Sunday, it was more just like yesterday. It was more like trekking in the water, not doing much, and then subsequent today rebound because the crypto market and the equity market across the other side of the world internationally opens up, subsequently drive some buying pressure. Also, on top of some of the news that we've been hearing so far are, relatively positive, right? Just talk about the optimism, rather than like kind of putting more oil in the fire, if you may. The last one, before I move on to the technical, would be Sakuramuchi, which, as you know, Sakuramuchi is a crypto fund manager. I think he's currently holding $1 billion of crypto in respect to Bitcoin, obviously, and Ethereum. And he sees that institutional investors are sitting out on this crypto craze, despite the sell-off that we've been experiencing so far. So again, he's a fund manager. He is representing institutional investors. So we have to take everything he says with a great caveat, right? Maybe he is contradicting himself for a specific reason with the intention to buy on a lower dip. Okay, so you get what I'm trying to say, right? Psychologically, they're not incentivized to, tell you their optimal level to buy it, right? They are incentivized to drop the market so they could buy it without telling you, right? That's what institutional investors typically do by working with media companies, right? So definitely want to read his thought or his depictions in the article with a great grain of salt, if you may. So let's just take a look at the technicals now. So Bitcoin is still floating away. We tested basically the 40,000 earlier last night, and subsequently reversed back up. But again, we're floating right now. And in terms of the reversal, it seems like we are slowly doing so. So it was a dip. It was like basically the $40,000. So congratulations to whoever bought it. Ethereum, same thing. We did hit the 2,750. I was dead asleep again with my like broken neck at the moment. So the reversal is definitely I think the sign is not as prominent compared to Bitcoin. We are at the scale of 41.92 out of 70. And we did reverse from the 2,750 again. So this is definitely a very, very strong resistance level. But we have to keep an eye out on it, right? I think continued dollar cost around this level or anywhere below, like again, right, 2,750, 2,450, anywhere between this level of spectrum is the wise thing to do, because when you hit the 35, it's basically the level when it tells you like, hey, it's over or sold, you should be buying. So something that I wish I did if I was not dead asleep last night. Anyways, with respect to Dogecoin, I think Dogecoin is a very, very interesting proposition at the moment based on the way it's set up. We did hit the 19 cents last night, which was great. And it was oversold at that point, right? We're 34 out of 70 at the moment. And we haven't crossed in a while. I think Dogecoin is very bullish at the moment in comparisons to other two. Cardano, I think the news hasn't broke out yet, but with respect to the partnership with Dish Network, which is for those that don't know what Dish Network is a cable company that provides like TV, so, mobile phone, telephone services as well. And with respect to the level that we at Cardano right now, I think the news hasn't really broke out yet, or got picked up yet because people are still asleep. People don't really wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday. I mean, unless you're like me, that's kind of nuts. So with respect to the Cardano, I think it's the pattern is relatively bullish at the moment, despite it's kind of on a scale of 46 out of 70 at the moment. I think again, right, the rule of thumb is 35, but right now it's slowly forming a golden cross, which is something we appreciate. On top of the fact that head and shoulder pattern is not as prominent as well, so I think we might see another surge up, a slight one, and we probably go to the $2.50 and then come back down. So not a bad buy level for Dogecoin and Cardano at the moment. Solana still bearish. We still at the 50 out of 70. We are still crossing down. We have no signs of reversal yet. So Solana again, the marching order is 112, 97, and 67. 67 will be the level I buy at, personally. XRP 88 again is the dip, right? It's comparable to like Bitcoin and Ethereum for some reason, despite how different is the price level in terms of the entry. So with respect to the technical, I think it's forming a little bit of a bearish signal at the moment. We have 41.64, so we're not too overbought or too oversold. We're more of a lower echelon of the overbought, or the high echelons of the overbought, if you may. Hope that makes sense. And I think with respect to the curvature that we're forming right now, it is showing some sign of reversal, slightly, and we haven't crossed in a while, right? But we did see that one time whale manipulation that was so obvious that, come on, everybody can see it. This is really, really manipulated. That the reverse should be coming, and I think the golden cross is about to form, comparable to Cardano and Dogecoin. So polkadots, I think the next, yeah, we did test the level again, the 25, 26, right, which is something that we've talked about. And right now would not be the best time to buy. I think we want to wait up a little bit until the 26, and I think we did hit the 26, and that's why I keep saying the 26, because it's a relatively hard level to crack if you think about this, right? We have a bunch of consolidation here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll form another one. Right now we're at the 47 out of 70. So again, 35 is the rule of thumb. So we're not like, it's not like the best opportunity, if you may, right? And also MACD is still bearish, so nothing is confirmed yet. Okay. So Ethereum seems like about to, oh, we did break 3,000 because of the bullish news that we're hearing from, obviously the JP Morgan news that the institutional clients are shifting their holding from Bitcoin, and also with all the news that are also pushing it as well. We are within still the capitulation anger stage. Remember, it's the reason why we see these oscillations on a sideways fashion, right? And with respect to the next leap technically is 3,150, right? So we have to be mindful of that. Do we get there? And that's something we have to observe going forward, right? So with respect to the level again, let's take a look at this again, right? Fair level is 3,000. No, attractive level 2,750, which we got there earlier this morning. I think like 3 o'clock in the morning. Still will be 2,450, right? And you don't want to get greedy by chasing all the way to 2,450, right? Because people can be like, oh, it's coming down already. Let's not be too greedy and let's buy on already. And next thing you know, you're going to drive up the whole price up again. So you miss out on this, right? So I think buying in between this level will be great. But if you bought in like way higher, like say like 4,050 bucks, just hold for a long term, the next 12 months, right? And with that long-term mindset, time will always pay off, regardless of the volatility. You might see like huge volatility because it's crypto. It historically has not been friendly to us, but just remember that ultimately it will get to the price point that you're looking for eventually if you believe in the long-term value proposition, right? So if this is helpful, hope you guys have a great Sunday. And really appreciate you for giving me a shout out to your friends and your loved ones. Only to your, to the people that you love and you trust. For entrusting in me. Really appreciate you for helping and growing this together. And yeah, hope you guys have a great rest of the weekend. And for those that are Monday already, just yeah, stay strong for the rest of the week, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.